Okay, so I'm on Instagram Live and I'm recording this video for YouTube. The YouTube video started with me dancing. I didn't start the IG video like that because I was using my phone to play my music. I was using my phone to play my music to my Bluetooth speakers, so I didn't dance on Instagram. The YouTube video version of this does have my dancing, but I can't post that video for a few more days because I have a block on YouTube because of dancing, okay? So, hello everyone. I might take my glasses on and off. I won't be able to see all of your comments. Today I wanted to do a video about why I am Team Megan Thee Stallion. This rapper, she's a new rapper. If you all haven't heard of her, you should check her out. She's from Houston, Texas. And listening to her and listening to her music and her interviews actually was like super inspiring to me as a woman. And it's like a lot of you who follow me, I know some of you don't really listen to the things I say or read the things I write, but for anyone who knows anything about me, you know that I'm not a dummy, number one. Number two, there are serious reasons for everything that I do. Three, I'm a woman who's in tune with my sexuality, not ashamed of it, not ashamed of my body, although I still have a lot of shyness that I try to knock down, believe it or not. Some people who don't know me in real life think that they think I'm not shy at all, and that's not true. I'm not completely shy, because if I was completely shy, I wouldn't be sitting here in a bikini right now. I wouldn't pose nudes for photographers, but at the same time, I don't have the confidence that some people might think that I have. And that's one thing that I like about Megan Thee Stallion, is that she's not shy at all. She said that, I'm not shy. And I like that, because I'm like, you know, after all these years, I feel like I should not be shy, but I kind of am, right? And a lot of that is because as a woman, it's like, and I talk about this all the time. I talked about this even in my video on Kim Kardashian, and people just always judging women who are sex symbols or women who are in tune with their sexuality, women who might pose in bikinis or dance in bikinis. People automatically want to put you in the stupid box. And I have done videos talking about that. And also speaking about why the goddess is so important and embracing that. Because I was watching an interview with Megan Thee Stallion, and she's 5'10", has body, and is all natural. And I like that because a lot of people are like little people, and no offense to the little people, but I feel like when you're a tall person, you command even more attention. And so a lot of times, and that has its pros and its cons. So a lot of times when you are given that power of height and size, you want to live up to it. You don't want to be a big tall lame, you know, or a big tall doofus. It's probably better to be a short doofus than to be a big tall doofus, okay? Because you can't blend in when you're really tall and big. You can't just blend in. Little people can do that. Or when little people do like acrobatic stuff or certain dance moves, like, okay, you're closer to the ground, but when you're tall and long, all of that becomes more difficult. And so and then as a woman, right? Because I was watching an interview with her and Joe Budden, and I've heard in a few interviews men say to her, oh, you must intimidate a lot of men. And it's like, you know, she's a very nice person. Why would she intimidate men? Because she's tall and big, right? And because she demands respect, and not in a mean way, you know? It's time for women, and this is the thing I liked about Beyonce. I like about Beyonce a lot as an artist. You know, Texas produces some good artists, because you got Erykah Badu representing Dallas, you know, and those women that I'm seeing, and I haven't spent a lot of time in Texas, but I've spent a lot of time in New Orleans, and there's a connection between New Orleans and Texas. I do know that, right? I know New Orleans, I know Louisiana, okay, has a lot of wild women. I don't care what race they are, white, black, and everything in between. Women from Louisiana are wild in the sense that they do what the fuck they want. I've done videos where I've talked about that too. Unlike Atlanta, and this has been my experience, okay? Unlike Atlanta, where I feel like Atlanta and Miami, women care a lot about the money you have, you know, as a dude. I think a lot of times they see dudes as a paycheck, whereas like in New Orleans, women just want to have fun. You know, they're just bad about it. They just dead ass want to have fun. It's not all about the money and shit. Now, I don't know a lot of people from Texas, but the thing is that I see with Ibadu, Beyonce, and this woman Megan Thee Stallion is that they do what the fuck they want, really, you know? And you can demand that a man be a certain way without being aggressive about it. And a lot of that has to do with the choices. You know, a lot of men talk a lot of shit. Men talk a lot of shit. And I love it when I hear women that talk shit. Because dudes think that y'all the only ones that can talk shit. And in hip hop, I'm a big hip hop head. You know, 90s hip hop in particular, dudes talk a lot of shit. And it's like, as soon as a woman talks some shit, dudes are the first to get all sensitive about it and get their panties in a bunch. You know, Joe Budden was saying that, you know, Megan was starting a gender war. And he's like, no, she's not. Because she's saying she demands that a dude knows how to lick and suck her clit properly before anything. And she's not teaching him. If that scares somebody, then that person's a lame, and that person obviously is not good enough to be fucking with her in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like dudes, you know, could talk so much shit in hip hop, and it's just like with Cardi B, you know, that video, the recording of her a long time ago talking about drugging dudes, and that wasn't something that she rapped about and glorified, okay? And it was something that she said she wasn't proud of in her background. She never said it was right. She never tried to justify it. She never glorified it. But there are plenty of male rappers who have rapped about killing people, who have rapped about armed robbery, okay? Rap about fucking your girlfriend or all kinds of crazy shit, okay? So many male rappers have done that. And then in real life actually was hitting women. Like Dre, fuck Dr. Dre. That dude needs to, something fucked up needs to happen to him. I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say, but something fucked up needs to happen to him because he's his big ass over there beating women, and not just Michelle A, but also Dee Barnes, a female reporter, and there are interviews on YouTube of her talking about that with Kevin Powell. She did an excellent interview with Wendy Williams where she talks in depth about that. And there's also a man who was there that day who spoke about this in an interview when he tried to help her. He got his teeth knocked out by Dre's bodyguards. Dre beat the fuck out of her and sexually assaulted her and beat her up some more, okay? Now this is known, there were witnesses, but what happened? He went on to become a millionaire. He went on to have Beats fucking headphones. Fuck him, okay? People are outraged about that shit, you know? Didn't Biggie, all of them fucking hit women, right? But then dudes want to, oh my God, I can't believe you said she's a drug dudes. Fuck that, fuck y'all, like shut up, okay? Because I feel like men are the first to fucking complain about some shit. When it's like women have had to deal with like 100 times more than that. And it's one thing like TLC made the song No Scrubs. There's dudes like that. There are dudes that talk to any woman, any attractive woman knows, there are dudes that talk to you that just should not fucking be talking to you. And you're like, why does he think he should be talking to me right now? Like, no, you know, that's what that song was about. And then what happens? 40 Thieves comes out with no pictures. Like, they always gotta, always, you know what I'm saying? So, but then dudes say we're sensitive, right? So I love a woman that talks shit. People think, dudes a lot of times think that like they don't have to do much in sex, like it doesn't really matter. That girl might be thinking that you're whack as fuck. It's not just about having a dick, you know? There's a lot of things, there's a lot of men who are whack with that shit. And if woman said I'm not fucking with you because of that, then it is what it is. That's what Megan Thee Stallion says, you know? I like the fact that she, you know, she performs in bikinis. It's funny because in the 90s, you had a lot of rappers, or I don't know, people would talk about it and they'd be like, oh, they make the woman, they sexualize the woman, and they make them be half naked. Some girls want to be half naked. Nobody makes me dance in a bikini. I like dancing in a bikini. I love fucking bikinis, but I don't like the beach. I don't want to fucking go swimming. I just like bikinis and I like sneakers. That's what the fuck I'm into, you know? And as a dancer, you get hot when you're performing, whatever. And I always talk about this. Prior to colonization with that patriarchal bullshit, we were walking around mostly naked anyway, okay? nipples out, and some shit around our waist, and that's it, maybe. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was in the Amazon. That's how it was indigenous people in South America, the Caribbean. That's how it was in Southeast Asia, the Polynesian islands. That's how it was in Africa. And we know this because they're in the primary documents. The missionaries and the people who are coming from the fucked up patriarchal religious shit and started imposing it on the people, they wrote about that. They wrote about how indecent us indigenous people were. You know, they took advantage of the sexuality of women. And that's very much documented in stuff from the Caribbean. Okay, when you have Native American women who were, yes, they were sexual, but men didn't see their wife as property, they shared. And it was the colonizers that had this mindset of, oh, I conquered your wife, and all this other bullshit. And they started bringing rape into the, equation, all of that, So I think that Megan Thee Stallion is very intelligent. I like the fact that she's a college student. I like the fact that people think a lot of times that just because a woman is sexual in her bikini or whatever, that she's stupid. And I always talk about this. People even say that to me. People who've been following me for a long time, and then they get their panties in a bunch because they got their feelings hurt because they're fucking stupid. And then they want to start saying something to me like, oh, you just need to go dance on the pole, and oh, you're just so showing your body. Like, that's supposed to hurt my feelings? Or this is like somebody calling me a lesbian. Like, that doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm not a lesbian. Yes, I do like women. I'm not ashamed of that, but I'm not a lesbian. But that's not an insult to me, So it's just like people just get stupid with that, And dudes even do that, And so it's funny because in interviews I also saw a few times where people asked her, like dudes actually get mad at her for twerking. And she's like, yeah. Like, it's so funny because it's the same thing. It'd be like, first of all, I'm dancing and shaking and gyrating because I want to. That's because that's what my ancestors did. That's because it's medicine. That's because it's my motherfucking body and I'm going to do what I want. And if you don't like it, don't look. It's that motherfucking simple. But because somebody has a problem, it's not going to make me stop being who the fuck I am at all, right? And then it's really funny how the same dude that was all, looking at the shit and mesmerized by the shit, then they want to start dissing you about it, And it's so dumb. And I feel like if men had any sense, because as a man, if you deal with women, you know that women are complicated. You know that a lot of times there are a lot of women who are not as upfront about their sexuality or about what they want sexually as men are. A lot of men are just very direct. That's why gay men have so much sex. Men don't play as much games around what it is that they want sexually. Women do that because women don't feel comfortable because of all the judgment that's been put on us from religion, from society, which the societal shit is coming from patriarchal religion. That if this girl does this or she does that, she's a whore. And but I know that even like with hip hop, like hip hop in the 90s, the way that they talked about women and women giving them head was in a way of like, they disrespected this woman. This woman disrespected herself because she gave this dude head. So I feel like it made a lot of black women not want to go down on the dude because they felt like, oh, if I'm sucking his dick, then I'm disrespecting myself. Because that's how rappers would talk about it. But then, you can meet women who have a different mindset. I remember being in college and knowing this girl that was, she used to do the most. And people would talk about her on campus. And I remember, I didn't know that side of her, but I would hear people talk about her on campus. I remember one time her talking to me, and I'm not even gonna get into the raunchiness of the conversation, but I remember her mindset about it was that she was playing these dudes because first of all, she loved to do it. She felt like she was empowered when she did that. And then she was laughing at them because she's like, they're talking shit. I mean, this girl, I would hear that she had like a line of people in her fucking dorm room. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's what I hear. And I remember her just cracking a joke like, they don't know that, I can't even tell the joke because and here's my shyness coming in. It's just a bit too much. So maybe next video. But I'm just saying, people have different mindsets about the shit, right? And so it's just like, it's how you, what I was saying is that men don't understand that when you make women more and more uncomfortable, they'll do less and less. When women feel comfortable, to be completely upfront about our sexuality, what we want sexually, to be in tune with that. Women will be, but a lot of women don't feel that way because of societies. And it's not just the United States. It gets worse when you go to Africa, and a lot of other parts of Asia, where women's sexuality is so suppressed, and sometimes in a way that it's like sex is supposed to be painful for us, There's like dry sex practices in Africa and the Caribbean. Women are doing things to make their vagina dry because men say that a wet vagina is a loose vagina. That's what they say. You can go Google the research. There's tons of it out there on this dry sex practice that causes women a lot of pain, infections, tearing, all kinds of stuff. Why are they doing that? Because the men say that's what they want. And these women put themselves in all kinds of pain. And I've talked about this in my other videos, that as a man, if you want to penetrate a woman, this is one thing men don't understand, okay? Going down a man and going down a woman are not equal, okay? Some people feel like, oh, she doesn't go down to me, I'm not going to go down to her. Okay, but if you want to penetrate her, then there's something else to consider, okay? The thing that you need to consider is that you are inserting something inside of her body. So her body has to be able to receive that. It's also the same thing when people are in relationships and they act like their spouse is supposed to have sex with them on command whenever they want it. It's like, that's not fair for a man to put that kind of pressure on a man or a woman. But when a man gets upset with a woman because, oh, she doesn't want to give me sex right now, it's like, her body may not be in the state to receive right now for a bunch of reasons. Maybe she feels gassy. Maybe she's constipated. Maybe, she has irritation of some sort. Like women who just had babies, who, like whether they had a C-section or a vaginal birth, they may not feel completely like themselves and certain things, whatever, okay? Now, on top of that, if she's not horny, a lot of men don't understand. If you're around this woman and she's already in heat, you want the woman in heat before you penetrate her. If she's already that way, and she comes to you like that, then yeah, maybe she could just jump on it, right? But if she's not, you have to do something to make her be in heat. And then you can penetrate. Because if you do not do that, then it doesn't feel as good to her. And it's not going to feel as good to you. Because no matter how good you think it feels, it will feel better if she is in heat, okay? And as a respectful, considerate person, why would you want to penetrate a woman and make her uncomfortable and deal with this pain? Because she's trying to please you and you have her in pain. Like, why? That could all be prevented. And especially the bigger a man is. The more well-endowed he is, the more important that is. Sometimes men who are well-endowed think that it's just enough just to be that way. But that becomes even more uncomfortable for a woman if she's not in heat, if she's not ready. Because the more in heat we become, we open up. The blood flow rushes to their area the same way it rushes to yours. And when that happens, you get wetness, you get elasticity, you get the tightness, you get all of that, But you just don't want like a rigid, stuck area that is not causing her anyhow. So Megan Thee Stallion talks about that a lot, and it's like some dudes might think, oh, why does she talk about clits all the time, and why does she talk about and da-da-da-da-da. But how many dudes be talking about girls choking in their dick and da-da-da-da-da, and that shit is not even to make him hard necessarily, because I don't know, but in my life, my experience, like 95% of the men that I've been around, they already got hard. Like it's not like I had to do that to make them that way. So the purpose of going down a man was never to get him hard, because they usually already are, okay? Now, it's like these dudes aren't doing that, when they rap about it like they're disrespecting this bitch. Like, oh, you just a hoe, basically. And it was just stupid, it's just fucking dumb. So if dudes can talk like that and women have listened to it, we have still been fans of the songs. We just learn how to cut things out. Oh, they're not talking about me. That's what women have to tell ourselves. You know how many male rappers is like, bitch this, these bitches and hoes, bitches and hoes, bitches and hoes, okay? So much so that women call themselves bitches and hoes now. I don't do that. Just like I don't use the N-word, when I say bitch, it's because I'm talking about a bitch. And it could be a male or a female. Sometimes I call men bitches more than I call women bitches. But when I say it, it's not a fucking. I don't call my friends my bitches. I don't. That's just me, right? And I don't call the dudes that I deal with or know my niggas. I don't use those two terms, right? But bitches and hoes in the 80s and the 90s was super disrespectful. We had people like Queen Latifah who would make songs about that shit. And then, just like the N-word, it exploded. Black people call each other by the N-word all the time, sounding dumb. And women call each other bitches and hoes all the time. So, I mean, in that case, if a woman is calling herself a bitches and hoes, oh, my hoe, my bitch, oh, what you do, then how do you really get mad when a man calls you that? It's the same thing I say about black people on the N-word, but regardless. Okay. So, I just like to see women who stand in their power, right? Who say, I don't give a fuck if dudes don't like me twerking, or somebody says something about me being in a bikini, or what the fuck I gotta say because I know what I want sexually. I don't give a fuck. If I like girls and I want to touch them or do whatever, I can say that, and I'm not scared. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I love that because there's so many fronting ass people. And women especially can be that way, and it's because of what society has imposed on us, right? But then at the same time, men love sexual women because on the one hand, you'll diss women like that, but on the other hand, what the fuck do y'all be looking at? The porn industry is the biggest industry, so a lot of people watch porn. So why do people hate on porn stars? What if nobody did porn? What if there was no porn? Imagine a world with no porn. How many people would be miserable? I know I would. I've been watching that shit for a long time. And I will always watch porn. And that's you know what I'm saying? That is what it is. But it's like, and having sex in front of the camera and doing all that is not easy. So why don't we give thanks to those who choose to do that? Why do you have to look down on them and but yet it's okay when people are selling crack and being gangsters and shooting people and killing people's families over fucking money. It's okay when people are in gangs, right? And they want to talk about killing people over some dumbass gang shit. All that's cool. But oh no, don't be a fucking porn star. Like, come on. That's stupid, And if more men actually lead the way with this. Because if more men stop, imposing that onto women, then you would also have less women hating on girls who stand in their sexuality and who are, because women hate on women like that too. But it's all coming from the men. It's coming from the women caring about what the men think. And the few women who don't care about what the men think, and we're going to be authentically ourselves, because a lot of men can't handle women in our raw sexuality. A lot of men pass on myths about how they think women are. A lot of women tiptoe in the male ego because we don't want to hurt your feelings, because despite what you guys think, you do have fragile egos. Okay? I love men who are smart enough to know that. But the male species can have a very fragile ego. So a lot of women tiptoe on that shit to keep the peace and to get what they want out of life. Right? And lie to you, because women are such better liars than men. I know women who've been married to dudes, 10, 15 years and be cheating in every city and he don't know. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't even like having sex with his ass, but he got money. He don't know. So dudes usually will get caught doing all that. So a lot of people are living a lie. A lot of people can't be honest. And this affects men too. About being honest sometimes about what they want sexually, because if a man says I want to be with multiple women, or if a woman says I want to be multiple men, if anybody says that, it's a fucking problem. Under this puritanical, patriarchal society that has been dictated by patriarchal religion. This is what I always talk about. If you haven't seen my other videos talking about it, please go ahead and talk about it. Go ahead and look at it. But I think that Megan Thee Stallion is dope because she's actually a lyricist. She's raunchy with it in her sexuality. I love that because as a woman, I know that men can be easy, and it's actually amusing to me to see men when they get stuck sometimes, because sometimes it's like, as a woman, you could be talking to a dude, and there's times, I'm fully dressed, I'm walking towards a man, and I could see him looking at me like I'm a piece of meat, and which doesn't offend me. And this is funny because Megan Thee Stallion said this. She said she looks at dudes like they're a piece of meat. And I love when she said that, because I look at men like a piece of meat too. And I've said that to men before who've gotten offended by that. Because I'm like, I will always refer to him as like a big piece of meat. Like, I'm like, oh, I love meatiness, you know? And I look at men like a piece of meat as well. So when somebody asked her how she felt about people looking at her like a piece of meat, she was like, I look at dudes like a piece of meat. I was like, yes, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. The shit's not one-sided. It's not one-sided. It's not just y'all, you know? So with that being said, it's like, you know, it's always been funny to me to see how men can get so stuck on stupid looking at a woman that they find attractive. And even some of the men that they try to continue what they're doing, they try, or they try to talk to this woman and act like they're genuinely asking a question or genuinely saying something, and as a woman you're looking at them like, there's been men who are talking to me, I can see them looking behind me, I can see them looking like at every part of me while they're trying to act normal, and I'm looking at him like, dude, I can see all of that, and it's actually funny. So to me, you know, to see Megan Thee Stallion be this tall stallion chick and rapping about what she raps about, and she's no dummy, that is what the fuck I love to see. I am team Megan Thee Stallion, team woman like that. Don't let dudes fucking control you, making you think that you gotta cover up and you acting like a hoe and you saying too much. Fuck that shit. And she constantly says, I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, yes to that, yes to that, and yes to that. Yes to all of that. So I'm always pro those kind of women. Pro Rihanna, pro Beyonce, pro fucking Cardi B, you know, pro Megan Thee Stallion. And there's different things that I like about different ones of them. There's a lot of things I respect about Cardi B. I don't like the fact that she's gotten so much surgery. Well, she didn't do that, but you know, at least she's real about it. But Megan Thee Stallion, her body just is real and she's just dopeness. So if you don't know who she is, definitely go check out her videos and some of her songs. And follow me on YouTube, The Renaissance Amazon, which is, I have like a week block on it from some dance video that I did that they won't let me post for a week, but definitely follow me there. And then if you're on Instagram, follow me on YouTube at _Renaissance_Amazon_81. Have a good day, people. Bye.